All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Shabu Habar Kakradash. Double honors to apostles from Great Millstone and salutations to elect which was to be. It's your brother Hawaii. Got a quick lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who better shame of looking like heathens. The spirit by witness that they're a child of Heavenly Father. In the name of the Heavenly Father, is Yahweh, who the world inly calls Jehovah, God of Yahweh. In the name of the Heavenly Son, is Yahweh Shai, who the world inly calls Jesus Christ, or is the Christos of Yeshua. I got a quick lesson. Any of the precepts come out, you already know the Holy Spirit. So Holy Spirit, whether you believe it or not. And I want to go into Leviticus, the 15th chapter. You know what I'm saying? Because I did another sit down, uh, 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 you know, when it comes down to immorality and stuff in the sexual department. And the thing is that, I don't want anybody to think that when it comes down to masturbation and stuff that you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? You can. Um, Now, it was a point that I had made and stuff when it come down to the females. Well, and I'm gonna read the whole chapter and stuff, but it was one point that I had made when it come down to the females where when they masturbate and stuff, you know what I'm saying, what they do is that they rub their clitoris, you know what I'm saying, and then when their sexual juices get to flowing and stuff, they start stuffing themselves, you know what I'm saying, and they might come back up and stuff and lick their fingers and stuff. If they start to dry out, I don't know how it goes because I'm not a female. So the thing is that you know, uh, uh, you know, they'll be in a position where they have to taste themselves and whatnot and stuff, and or even when they come down to if they deal with a dildo and whatnot, stuff themselves, juices all over there with the wound, they taste themselves. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was making just a certain, I was just making a point. You know what I'm saying? But end all be all, as embarrassing as it is to bring up and stuff, because this is a situation stuff that a lot of individuals and stuff don't want to really speak on. I mean, the females they do it and stuff because everything's okay and what they do and stuff in this society and stuff. They don't have no balance, but the accountability is most definitely on the rise. But besides that and stuff, just to put it out there. So this is Leviticus 15:1. It says cleansing unhealthiness bodily discharges. You see, it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man have a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean." Now I want to go into the word issue. It's the word zawab, and it says to flow, gush, issue, discharge. You see, and it's more on flowing, issue, flow, and discharge. Right? Same way for a woman, it's going to tell you later further down, right? And as you see, it says to have a sexual flux. You know what I'm saying, right? So even when women say if they get wet, you know, they got to wash themselves afterwards and stuff. You see. Now it's going to go into Salaki. I'm kind of jumping the gun, but it goes the same way. So when you go into the word flux, I'm gonna get it. It says a flowing a flowing of fluid from the body, right? Now, diarrhea, that's just one time. It's not like you shitting every day because it's not like you just got diarrhea every day and it's just flowing. You know what I'm saying? And also, sweat wouldn't be included either. Yeah, we understand that when you sweat and stuff, impurities come out your impurities come out your body and stuff, but sweat doesn't count either. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's like saying you say if you have an infection, you know what I'm saying, or the disease and stuff, and it causes discharge to come out. You see, it says continuous moving on or passing by as a stream. Now, when it comes down to individuals who say if they get what's it called uh, chlamydia, you know what I'm saying, another one I can't think of another one stuff that really gives discharge like that. But when it come down to chlamydia, which can be healed, when it come down to chlamydia and stuff, you have a flow discharge and stuff, and it look like Alfredo. You see, you know, and and I looked it up and stuff after watching Corey Holcomb, uh, one of his stand ups and stuff, and he said when that shit when it flows from her coochie and whatnot and stuff, and it looked like Alfredo sauce or whatnot and stuff. He said that she was like that. Oh, that's just cum. It's like nah, that shit ain't cum. It's chlamydia. You see, which can be healed. what I'm saying? Right, just a name, just that's the one I can name and stuff. The other one's something. Right, so I'm gonna go back. This is so you unclean and whatnot and stuff until you fix that, and you can use uh use ashwagandha, but you want to get the alcohol version. And the thing is, the one that's mixed with alcohol. And the thing is that another thing is that if you sexually active still, which you might want to hold off for a bit. If you sexually active still and stuff, what happens is that you could cause it to keep going and whatnot, but ashwagandha and stuff make you flirt. What I'm saying, right? So verse 3, it says, and this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue or his flesh be stopped from the issue, meaning that it's not flowing at the time. It says it is uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lieth that have the issue is unclean. It says, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. And that's how you know that it's not talking about sweat and stuff, because you can sweat anywhere. You see, you could be in a well ventilated building and whatnot and stuff. Say if you at work, what I'm saying, and you got a fan blowing, it's not hot and stuff. But if you consistently active and whatnot and stuff, where you got to really move your body and stuff, and like say pick up limbs and stuff, can be pick up limbs, pick up certain amounts of weights and whatnot and stuff. Guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna start to sweat. You see it even when it comes down to the gym. The gym don't just have the little dollar store fans and stuff blowing around and stuff. No, they be having AC, and yet you still sweat. You see, so it's not talking about that. Sweat doesn't make you unclean. What I'm saying? Even though sweat is another filtration system when it comes down to the body, right? So it says, and whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. So, verse 6, it says, and he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that have the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. So, being unclean is the word tama'ah. It says to be unclean, become unclean, become impure. Uh, 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 it's gonna get into the sexual and stuff, but you gotta bear with me. Uh, now this is talking about in a physical sense. You know what I'm saying, right? So this is verse 7. It says, and he that touches the flesh of him that have the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. Now I don't know any other infections and stuff that will cause like your like say your penis or your vagina and stuff to leak out a substance, and it's not uh, 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 like shoot, even when it come down to, well, I guess you can add pre-cum, what I'm saying, and then also, but pre-cum is not an issue and stuff, what I'm saying, or when you ejaculate, that's not an issue and stuff, but it can tend to flow, and pre-cum is still sperm and stuff, what I'm saying. So the thing is that you wouldn't know, what I'm saying, and it's and also pee when you pee or you piss, when you urinate and stuff, that's not the same. That's not an issue. That's a function of the body and stuff to get rid of waste. But like say if you like slowly arouse or slightly arouse, whatever that happens and stuff, you can get a little drip, and it's the same way when it comes down to the female. It's the same way when it comes down to the female. Now if say if that do happen and stuff, you should wash. You know what I'm saying? Right? But this is talking about having a infection or disease, and that's why it's called issue, right? Right? That cause leakage to come out of your genitals, right? So it says, uh, uh, what's another thing? Pus. You know what I'm saying, right? So it works as a way of pus. So this verse 8. It says, and if he that have the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. It says, and what saddle soever he rideth upon that have the issue shall be unclean. So if it's on the saddle, You know what I'm saying? Then it's still unclean until it gets washed. Verse 10 it says, and whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening. It says, and he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And notice how it says unclean to the evening and stuff. So what you want to do is check when sundown is and stuff, and make sure that you wash your ass and you wash your clothes and stuff before sundown happens. You see, because other than that, you misrupt the custom. Verse 11 it says, whosoever he touches that have the issue and have not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And the vessel of the earth that he toucheth, which have the issue, shall be broken. It says, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed and washed. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to tell you this. What am I? I'm right here, right? So, this is because the entire land is unclean. When a woman is PMS and stuff, she's unclean and stuff, you see. Right? So, I'm going to grab, or even when a woman gives birth and whatnot, there's a certain period of time and stuff where she's unclean. You know what I'm saying? Right? And we'll get those now. What was I looking for? Bear with me. I'm at 12. All right. So this is Numbers, chapter 30. No, no, no. 30, I think it's 35. Yeah, 35 and 33. Now we know that America and stuff was founded by Cristobal Colon, aka Christopher Columbus. And the thing is that he received this land and stuff by the way of genocide and stuff. And there's a lot of blood on this land. So this is so it is 33. Slovakia. This is Numbers 33 and 35, and it says, yeah, 35. It says, but if no, this is 55. Slovakia. My bad. So it gotta be 35. Bear with me. 35, 33. Look at that. Okay. So this is Numbers 35 and 33. It says this when no no it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it stuff. So right now, being in America, we already know that American stuff was achieved the stuff by the slaughter of the Native American Indians, some of the indigenous, which are the Gadites and indigenous Indians and stuff, which are the the Iskarites, and then the Semio Indians and stuff, which would be the Reubenites. You know what I'm saying? Reuben was more in the southerns. You know what I'm saying? Gad was more in the upper, mid to upper. You know what I'm saying? All the way into Canada and stuff, and then you had um, Issachar and stuff in the western hemisphere of the Americas and stuff, going down to Central America. You see, right? So the thing is that the America and stuff, you got different treaties and stuff that Esau, the full blood spirit of Caucasian and stuff, and was bringing forth and stuff, but of course it wasn't done by righteousness. He decreed unrighteous woe to him that decrees unrighteous decrees. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much, he'll make an agreement and stuff, and then totally turn around and stuff. You see, pretty much it's like this. They had Israelites who owned the land and stuff to be like, sign here and stuff, and then pretty much they said something totally different and stuff. And if there was no agreement and stuff, then guess what? Gad came with guerrilla warfare. You know what I'm saying? Remember in Genesis the 49th chapter, Gad was overcome by a troop. You know what I'm saying? You see, and I forget what his name is. I want to say his name is Theodore, but he's the one who created the Gatling gun and stuff, because Gad was fucking Esau up and stuff when it came down to guerrilla warfare. You see, which Gad was known for and stuff, with the face paint and knowing how to blend in when it come down to surroundings, and they was very fast. You see, so this is going back to that Leviticus 15. So when it come down to the land and stuff, we unclean and stuff, but we walk by faith and not by sight. You see, because it's something that we can't deal with. You see, it's nothing that we can change about that, right? Right. So this is Leviticus 15 and 12 again. It says, "In the vessel of earth that he touches, which hath the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water." It says, "And when he that have an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing." It says, "And wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean." You know what I'm saying, right? So after you cleanse of the issue, and that's how you know that this would have to be some type of infection, or something that's wrong within the body. You know what I'm saying, right? Right? Uh, um, you know, it got to be a disease, or it's STI, or some sort of illness and stuff that causes leakage and stuff from your body. That's not normal. You see, that's a defect or causing disruption and stuff within your body and stuff. You see, that's how you know it's not sweat, sperm, uh, you know, I guess you could say pus. So verse 14, it says, "And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshua unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest." It says, "And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his issue." It says, "And if any man's seed of compilation go out of him," right? So let's see what compilation is. It's the word shakabah, and it says sexual relations. You see, which includes masturbation as well, and it includes the same for you females and stuff, because that that pussy juice and stuff that that starts extracting, secreting from your body and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen normally. It has to always happen when you sexually aroused. You see, or some sort of heightened circumstance and stuff to cause some from the juices to flow. You see, or stimulation, I want to say, right? Verse 16. It says, "If any man's seed of compilation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the evening." It says, "And every garment and every skin wherein is the seed of compilation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the evening." Right? Unclean until the evening. So let's get that. It's the word Irab, Irab, I the Radaba, Irab, and it says evening, night, sunset. There you go, right? Sun, because the beginning of the day is sundown to sundown, not sun up to sun up. You see, so this is so you want to make sure everything is clean. You know what I'm saying, before sundown. Verse 18, it says, "And the woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of compilation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the evening." Now, female will be like, "What if he got a condom though? What if he got a condom and stuff?" It's still the same and stuff, because you secreting juices as well. You see, if you come, I like to call it yoking. You know what I'm saying? I like to call it yoking and stuff. For people and stuff want to make fun of me, I don't give a damn. But when that discharge come, when it's gooey and shit, you know what I'm saying? When it's gooey and whatnot and stuff, and she get creamy and whatnot and stuff, not to be so vulgar. But when that happens and stuff, guess what? You gotta cleanse yourself. Or even if it ain't creamy, and it doesn't happen like that and stuff, right? Even if you ain't creamy and it doesn't happen like that, the thing is that you're still secreting juices that wouldn't happen and stuff unless you were stimulated. So therefore, guess what you got to do? You got to watch yourself too, right? Right? Even if it's a condom and whatnot and stuff, you see, right? So it says, it says, verse 19. It says, well, 18 again. It says the woman also whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening. You know what I'm saying, right? So if he busts on your back, you know, for certain women and stuff who like it, face and saying in your mouth and stuff, not all women are spitters. You know, a lot of women are not quitters. You know what I'm saying? They don't spit, so they swallow. Uh, uh, and you know, uh, you still gotta wash yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know. So I remember it was this Edomite woman and stuff, and I guess it was a black dude. His name was Jason, and it was on World Star Hip Hop, which I like to call Judgment TV. And pretty much what happened was that uh, uh, she was saying, she was like, "Thank you, Jason, woo to woo." You know what I'm saying? Because he pretty much nutted on her ass and stuff, right? But he nutted on her face, I guess, and stuff, and you just see the video where she over there talking about thank you, Jason, and explaining stuff how his juices, pretty much his sperm and whatnot, while she rubs it in on her face and stuff, how it was clearing her face up. And science shows and stuff when women get nutted on, uh, and they say the guy don't got anything. When women get nutted on and stuff on their face, you know what I'm saying, it literally clears up their face. And for women and stuff will be like, they don't want it in their hair and whatnot and stuff. It actually makes your hair a little stronger and stuff because all you're doing is catching protein, you see. And and there's been studies, scientific studies and stuff that show for this to be true. You know what I'm saying? Right? So this is it says verse 19. Well, I'm gonna read 18 again, and it says verse in the NLT, it says, after a man and a woman have sexual intercourse, they must each bathe in water, and they will remain unclean until the next evening. And of course, you use soap and stuff because soap draws out the dirt out of your pores. You see, right? So this is warm water and stuff causes your pores to open. I'm saying because it causes the skin to be relaxed. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the soap and stuff, and what it does is draws out the dirt from your pores. You see, verse 19 it says, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening. That's talking about when you are on your period. Here we go. Verse 19, it says, whenever a woman, in the NLT to the right, it says, whenever a woman has menstrual period, she will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. It says, anyone who touches her during that time will be unclean until the evening. So she don't have to necessarily be like running. They get their little pads and whatnot and stuff, to put in their panties. You know what I'm saying? I think this is the only time that she ain't wearing a thong. You know what I'm saying? Or if she is and stuff, she got her little tampon or whatnot and stuff because she's during her period. And the thing is that during these 7 days and stuff, she unclean even if she don't flow no blood. You see, right? And she's still unclean. And you got women everywhere and stuff, and they're not gonna tell you stuff when their period is come or when they're. I mean, you could tell and stuff because she gonna get grumpy. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be you'll notice the difference and stuff, and then there's gonna be time when she gonna catch them cramps and whatnot and stuff and be uncomfortable and stuff, and that's what makes her bitchy the most. So verse 20, it says and everything that she lieth upon it in her separation shall be unclean, because they're supposed to be separated. You know what I'm saying? So like say if you got a big house and stuff, and you got a guest house and stuff, what she's supposed to do is go to that guest house and stuff, and you'll have like maids or or certain surgeons and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that wouldn't be males that would deal with her. You know what I'm saying, right? She'll be surrounded by females. And what will happen is that, she will be there, what I'm saying, until them 7 days is up and stuff, where she'll be clean again, right? Right? But a lot of us don't have that situation and stuff. So you in the midst of you got children, or say if you got a sister, or a cousin, auntie and stuff, shit, most of these women and stuff, they be catching babies, what I'm saying, at a young age and stuff. So, cause shoot, uh, shit, well, look what they doing right now and stuff. There, Esau Edom and stuff is trying to promote sexuality and stuff in grade schools as young as preschool. What I'm saying? They show, they show. It's not funny and stuff, but I'm thinking about South Park where you had the one guy. He was he's a teacher at the South Park school, and he always got that little puppet on his hand and whatnot and stuff, and he was showing the, I don't even know, I don't know if they was kindergartners or preschoolers, what I'm saying, but he was showing them how to put a condom on a penis, and on a fake penis and stuff, what I'm saying, and using his mouth and whatnot and stuff. And the thing is that you have nowadays and stuff. That's exactly what they're doing. They're teaching the sexuality and stuff real early. You know what I'm saying, right? Right. So they're gonna teach them, because I think it was like for me in eighth grade. No, it was seventh grade and stuff when they started bringing sexual ed and whatnot and stuff. You see, so now it's preschool and kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? Right? So uh, when those different times come, or I would say a time when they're ovulating as well and stuff, what I'm saying, which usually happens when they're PMS, what I'm saying, they're going through that phase. And the thing is that, they're gonna be unclean. And there's a lot of young women around and stuff, what I'm saying, who ain't going through menopause because they ain't reached the age yet and stuff. And that's when they stop their bleeding period. Doesn't mean you can't get no kids. That shit is bullshit. Because look at uh, uh, Abraham and Sarah. Abraham was 99 years old, I believe, or 100 years old, and Sarah was 90 years old and stuff. And she was laughing, saying, "Would she be able to still catch a baby and whatnot and stuff?" Because she was looking at Abraham like his soldiers didn't march. You know what I'm saying? But it happened anyways and stuff. And I think that's found in Genesis 18, right? So and keep reading. So pretty much every anywhere, if your female's still young and whatnot and stuff, when she in a period and she can't go to her auntie crib, what I'm saying, she can't go to her friend's house, her sister house and whatnot and stuff, a cousin crib and whatnot and stuff, she's more than likely gonna be in your crib and whatnot and stuff. And this is a situation where you just gotta have faith for, because it's out of your jurisdiction. It's something you can't control. So verse 20 it says, "And everything she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean." It says, and whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. So for all you niggas and stuff who like to eat coochie and stuff when they in on period and stuff, which is called red winging, what I'm saying, you not only are you nasty as hell in my opinion, stuff, do what you want to do, what I'm saying, but the thing is it's like this. Uh, 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 you'll be unclean too and stuff, partaking in that. Right? If you deal with her sexually or not. You see, verse 22, it says, "And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening." It says, "And if it be," so even if you wash yourself, you're still unclean. You know, you smelling that good phone woo to woo, what I'm saying, or she got that type of smell and stuff because she's in her period time and whatnot and stuff. Some women and stuff, it'd be strong as hell no matter how many layers they put on, it'd be strong. Especially if you eat healthy and whatnot and stuff, your nose gonna work better and stuff, and you gonna smell certain shit that you wouldn't smell and stuff if you had more acidic diet. Right? So, because being acidic and stuff, it really clogs you up. You know what I'm saying, right? But if you more on the alkaline level and stuff, or in between, you gonna smell that shit. You know what I'm saying, So it says, verse 22, It says, and whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. It says, so if you, so, if it happens in the morning and stuff and it stops, what I'm saying, she go to school or college and whatnot and stuff, she sit at her desk, say somebody else sit in her desk and whatnot and stuff, what I'm saying, guess what, they unclean, you see? So anywhere she goes, so guess what, it could be on the bus, what I'm saying, it could be on the train, what I'm saying, it could be in your car, what I'm saying, depending on how the situation is, you know, shit, you know, if she slip and fall and bust her ass and stuff, and her ass land on one of them cement squares and stuff, as soon as you walk on it, boom, you unclean. See, right? They probably handling your food and stuff with gloves, and it don't. It's like, well, I had gloves on and stuff. It don't matter. You in a certain state and stuff. So anything that you touch, what I'm saying, the scriptures don't say anything about you being barehanded. It says anything that you touch and stuff will be unclean. So you go to McDonald's, you get your burgers, your McChickens and stuff, get your little bundles and whatnot and stuff, or you go to Burger King and stuff, or you go to this expensive restaurant and stuff. Old girl look good, but she got a whole tampon and stuff because she bleeding, or she got pad with the granny panties and whatnot and stuff. Guess what? Your food is unclean. You see, you know, right? So this is Leviticus 15 and 23. It says and if it be on her bed or on anything wherein she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the evening. It says it, and if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers, her pussy, be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days when she's in that time. You know what I'm saying? If it's just regular sex and stuff, you just wash it, then you good. You know what I'm saying? Until the evening comes. As soon as sundown comes, and it's a minute or two, a minute after and stuff, the time that shows when sundown is, you know what I'm saying? You good. You clean again. You know what I'm saying, right? It says, and it said, right? But this is talking about if she's on her period and stuff, and and you dealing with her and stuff, right? It's right, verse 24. It says in the NLT, it says, if a man have sexual intercourse with her and her blood touches him, it says her menstrual impurity will be transmitted to him. He will remain unclean for 7 days, and any bed on which he lies will be unclean and stuff. So two things, because a lot of J will get lost in the sauce. If when I say lost in the sauce, I'm talking about misunderstand. The upper scriptures and stuff, verse 22 says if she sits upon anything and stuff, she'll be unclean. So even if she doesn't bleed on you a little bit, the thing is that you still gonna have to wash yourself and stuff, because if she's in that state and she sat upon you, she riding you, you know what I'm saying, or even if you hitting it from the back, not to be so vulgar, you know what I'm saying, or have a way that it goes, or even if you hitting it from the side and stuff, you still touching the bun. So when it come down to it, guess what? You still gotta wash, right? So I'm going to skip to verse 25, and it says, and if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, meaning that her period prolongs, it says, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation, she shall be unclean. You know what I'm saying? So if it prolongs and stuff, you know what I'm saying, then guess what? She's going to be unclean still. You know what I'm saying? Verse 26, it says, every bed whereon she lieth, all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. It says, and whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as the uncleanness of her separation. It says, and whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. But if she be cleansed of her issue, meaning a period stopped, it says, then shall she number to herself 7 days. So now it's got to be 7 days extra, but she'll still be clean. It says, and after that she shall be clean. You see, right? So even if it's a regular period and it stops, she got to count 7 days and stuff. Then she'll be clean again. But guess what? She's gonna be walking everywhere according to this society and stuff, because this ain't the ancient times where you can really keep this, right? Uh, but after them 7 days, she good. And guess what? Even if another female is on her period and stuff, and she ain't, guess what? Everything still happens. They touch that pole, they touch them little things that hang and stuff from, when you standing up and whatnot. Any seat that she sat upon, bam, it's unclean. It's unclean already. The blood don't have to touch it. She just got to sit there. You see, right? Now in the kingdom and stuff, we'll be able to keep this to a T, but we can't keep it now. You see, and that's why we walk by faith and not by sight. So it says verse 28. It says, but if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. It says, and on the 8th day she shall take unto her two turtles, and two. It's talking about two turtle doves and stuff, because turtles are unclean animals and stuff. You don't sacrifice turtles. It says, or two young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Lord for the issue of for her uncleanness. It says, thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. It says that this is the law of him that have an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him and is defiled therewith. It says, and of her that is sick of her flowers. It says, and of him that have an issue. It says, of the man and of the woman. It says, and of him that lieth with her that is unclean. Now you got to understand this. We already know and stuff that it's like, you'll look at it, it's like, well, how is that unclean and stuff? Because when she's going through her period cycle and stuff, when she's going through her menstrual cycle and stuff, she's cleaning out impurities when it comes down to her body. You see, you know, right? And I also want to grab this too. Actually, I'm right there. This is Leviticus chapter 12. I'm sorry, verse 1. It says, laws of motherhood, purification after childbirth. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, it says, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of her separation for her infirmities, shall she be unclean, because there's blood everywhere. It's what they call that shit. Damn, I forgot what it's called, but it's the blood that be found in the womb. You know what I'm saying? A lot of East Indians and stuff, they drink. It's called placenta. There we go. The water y'all about to shot. It's called placenta. And you have a lot of East Indians and stuff, and I forget whichever one I want to say is probably the Pakistanians and stuff. They drink that shit thinking that it's gonna give them life and energy and whatnot and stuff, and that's nasty as hell, right? Remember, the Lord already said and stuff, don't eat the animal with the blood. So if his blood coming from anywhere else and stuff, don't deal. So watch for biting your lip, biting your tongue. You know what I'm saying? Right? You scratch yourself and stuff, and you instantly want to lick it. Nah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying, right? So this is verse 3. It says, in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. Right, and this is the covenant and stuff that the Lord has. You know what I'm saying, for when it come down to men Israelites and stuff. You ain't supposed to have foreskin and stuff, and that's part of the covenant that the Lord had placed upon Abraham. But a covenant he made before Abraham and stuff. You know what I'm saying? As it says in Genesis the 17th chapter. I'm saying the thing I was and I know individuals and stuff who had to. It's usually a lot of Northern Kingdom and stuff who don't get circumcised and stuff, you know what I'm saying, beforehand. They usually have to get it and stuff. Some Southern Kingdom, but there's individuals and stuff, you know what I'm saying, where it's like they don't really get it and stuff, and they gotta feel that shit, you know what I'm saying. And when you a baby and whatnot and stuff, it doesn't hurt when you're a child. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, I don't know, but it doesn't hurt when you're an infant. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you an old enough person, if you older, most definitely that shit is gonna fucking hurt stuff. And that's how Levi and Simeon and stuff got that Hamite and stuff. what I'm saying, that dealt with their sister. So this is that's how he was able to take them down. So this is verse 4. It says, and she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days. It says she shall, this is talking about childbirth specifically, not talking about when she on her period. It's talking about childbirth. It says, verse 4 again, Leviticus 12:4, and she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days, so 33 days, as she shall touch no hollow thing. So anything and stuff that represents holiness, she ain't supposed to touch it. It says, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. It says, but if she bear a maid child, meaning a female, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks. It says, and in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days, and that's 66 days. She should be unclean for 2 weeks. It says, as in her separation, right? Right. So for 2 weeks, she's going to be unclean in her separation. So she's supposed to be separated from you, and then in 66 more days and stuff, the separation will still be there and stuff because she's in a purifying process. Verse 6, it says, and when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and your pigeon or turtle dove for a sin offering onto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation onto the priest. Now, you see, this is a custom and whatnot and stuff, but it's still held as a law. You see, and these are one of the things and stuff that cannot be kept unless you get money like that and time to be able to do so. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it and remember, when it comes down to it and stuff, the Lord had abolished the law, so we walk by faith and not by sight. Yes, we do rehearse the righteous acts, as it says in Judges 5:11, but the thing is that we can't keep this and stuff because how society is made. You see, and that's how you also know that the ones that call themselves Jewish and Israeli are not the real Jews that's found in Israel right now, because this is supposed to be the law of the land, of all lands, because Israel is going to have uh, uh, jurisdiction and control over even all lands and stuff, because everything will be our providence. You know what I'm saying? You see, we will be the new elites. You see, you know, right? But in righteousness and not wickedness. Verse 7, it says, who shall offer it before the Lord and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that have borne a male or a female. So it's just a quick lesson. Uh, yeah, so it's just a quick lesson. I'll read the last verse. It says, and if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons, the one for a burnt offering and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean. So, when it comes down to it, don't trip. You know what I'm saying? If you try to sacrifice an animal, one of these animals and stuff today and stuff, guess what? They're going to call it animal cruelty. You know what I'm saying? And, it's just one of our customs and stuff that we're going to keep within the kingdom and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because I got the hiccups. We're going to keep it in the kingdom. But when it comes down to in being in captivity and stuff, there's no way and stuff that this could be kept and stuff. So this whole entire land is unclean, not just morally, but physically as well. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of genocide that's happened and stuff, and guess what? The land and stuff is not going to be cleansed and stuff until uh, 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 the ones who slaughtered the Israelites and stuff, or slaughtered anyone and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They cleansed that. Well, I wouldn't say anyone, but it's really towards Israel, because Israel had this first. You know what I'm saying? But when Christopher Columbus came through and stuff, it was a massive genocide and stuff, just so they can take control of the lands and stuff and colonize it. You see, and even in that colonial period, you know what I'm saying, it was still bloodshed and stuff that was going on unjustly. You know what I'm saying? Right? And then they manipulated the minds of Israel and stuff, and you got niggas killing each other every day for the smallest reason, as it's stepping on somebody's shoes. You know what I'm saying? Or a misunderstanding. You see? You know, or just a monster out there and stuff who think he bad trying to maintain his status and stuff, you see? You know, so, you know, this land is unclean. If she's in a period and stuff, she's unclean. You find out how it is that you find out what you're supposed to do and stuff. If you do become unclean, you know, dealing with uncleanliness and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And then this was just a little extra and stuff when it come down to childbirth. So I hope this video was edifying. I like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Hara Kakwadash. Double honors to apostles who great millstone and salutations to elect what you ought to be. Shalom, well, Ba Ba Ba, Kwam Yasharala.